Welcome to this meditation. If you could find a place where you can sit comfortably and undisturbed. And once you're seated, start by connecting with your physical body. Take a deep breath in and out, and with the intention that with each exhalation you allow yourself to relax just a little bit more. And gently shift into a calmer state, one that naturally softens your shoulders and releases some of the tension in your facial muscles. And when you've returned to your own rhythm, your own natural pace of breathing, I'd like to invite you to imagine a monitoring and control room for your blood pressure. Somewhere there's a machinery that drives everything and regulates your blood pressure. There's also a meditation spot from which you can observe the activity within this monitoring and control room. For some it looks like a place in nature. For others it will look like your own sleeping place, your bedroom. In any case, I'm certain it must be very nourishing, open and spacious, a place for you so you can meditate and reflect in all freedom. Just suppose somebody suddenly crosses your boundaries, a person who intentionally, in your opinion, just stomps on your flowers in your front yard. Anger might be surfacing. Everything inside of you wants to fight and let that person know that they are wrong. Imagine you fighting spirit automatically passing through this monitoring and control room in the red color from your body. Observe how wide and thick the cable is that carries this impulse. Now investigate where that impulse is also transmitted to the higher regions, to the areas of your brain responsible for your consciousness. If this doesn't happen, your blood pressure might remain high because you simply don't know that someone crossed your boundaries and provoked your anger. Perhaps you simply unlearned how to be angry. For example, look at the red color and see if there's anything needed to make it go any faster or slower, or to make it reach the higher regions. Now step into your meditation spot and distance yourself from what just happened, what you just saw. It was just an example. Now imagine you are somewhere and you just know it can be dangerous. Something is just not right. Something's off, and your body knows that the best way to survive is to flee. It sends fear upwards to your consciousness, and it flows through this monitoring and control room. To flee, you need adrenaline and an extra elevated blood pressure to actually get away. The color of this fear energy is black, dull black. Now examine the incoming current entering in the monitoring and control room, and whether that energy is also transmitted to your consciousness, just like you did with the red color. Sometimes we've unlearned how to feel fear because it just wasn't appropriate. Then look at the cable upwards to those other parts of your brain. Maybe it's simply pinched off. Something like this can lead to permanently high blood pressure. Perhaps you feel some fear now because of the story. Watch where the black is going. Then go back to your meditation spot and distance yourself from what happened, what you just saw or what you just heard. Also, this was just an example. And Sometimes we are sad, and this manifests itself in a medium blue color. Here too, check whether this energy can be transmitted as information to your consciousness and your conscious areas. Perhaps it's good to feel whether being sad can lead to high blood pressure. That's not always the case, but maybe for you it is, and maybe for you it isn't. And once you have felt that and know it for yourself, you can return to your meditation spot. Take a last look at the blue color that stands for sadness. And once you're in your meditation spot, breathe in, breathe out, feel your physical body. There you go. I once read an article about a man who scored a hole in one in a golf tournament, just one swing straight into the hole. He was exceptionally joyful. And he was so joyful that his blood pressure temporarily spiked, leading to a sudden cardiac arrest right there on the spot, and he died. This story made headlines and is very true and very rare. This bodily reaction enters the monitoring and control room, so also joy comes as an orange-yellow current color. It's the energy of joy. Just observe carefully whether it's also transmitted to the higher regions of your brain where your consciousness resides. After all, it does happen that some people have thought themselves never to be happy, because misery will strike even harder afterwards. People like that exist. And once you've observed all of this and maybe felt your own joy occurring as an orange-yellow color, it's a good idea to adjust those cables that aren't transmitting so well to your consciousness areas. It's simply useful to know if you're afraid, angry, joyful, or sad, or any other emotion, and then to decide what you want to do with it. So, look at all those tubes and look at all those transmitters with all the colors, with the blue and the yellow, the black and the red. And maybe you can adjust them a little bit so that the cables that aren't transmitting so well are going to transmit everything better to your consciousness areas. Just take your time and imagine that you adjust everything just the way that's good for you and your blood pressure. And then go back to your meditation spot and ask yourself if you might have adapted something from your father's way of living. If so, you can imagine he sent you many messages about this specific behavior. So you could send all that mail back, and you can discover what truly deeply suits you. Just imagine all his messages lying before you, like an old school on paper, like a stack of mail, and put them in a large envelope or a bag and send them back. You could also tell your father, I've learned a lot from you, but this behavior truly belongs to you and I'd like to discover my own way. Now just imagine, send it back. Send it back. Maybe you can even see the big envelope or the posting bag with all the mail you ever got, all the advice and all these messages from your father flying through the air or just being delivered by the postman. Send it back. And then you can do the same with your mom. Just imagine all her messages lying before you like a stack of mail and put them in a large envelope as well, or in a posting bag, and send them back. And you can also tell her, Mom, I've learned a lot from you, but this behavior truly belongs to you, and I'd like to discover my own way. And send it back. Even if you're adults, we're still under the influence of the messages our parents send us, the proclamations. Send it back. And finally, we also receive quite a few messages from church, for example. They certainly do good things, but their norms and values can definitely contain messages about how you should deal with your emotions. That doesn't have to be the case, but it is possible. So if you imagine the symbol of a church, it might be easier to send their mail back. Keep the good and let go of what doesn't fit you. So all the messages that don't suit you, put them in a big envelope or a posting bag and send them back. Send it back. Now walk through the monitoring and control room and investigate if there's any strange people wandering around. And feel your reaction. If they don't belong there, send them away. After all, nobody has any business in your blood pressure regulating center. Take one last good look to see if everything feels right and whether perhaps a little more space needs to be added or released here and there, so that when all the busy little taps and cables, you can create more room, allowing everything to flow a little bit more easier, so that your blood pressure remains steady no matter which emotion arises. And when everything feels good for you, and it's as if you're fully owning it from your own source, let the color of your energy and your name begin to flow through this control room, along with today's date, anchoring you in the here and now. And when this room is completely yours and it's completely in the here and now, you can let this image fade gently, and you can say goodbye to your meditation space, knowing that you can always return here. And notice how quite naturally your breathing becomes a little bit deeper again, as you slowly but surely return to your chair, to your own space. You can feel your body. Maybe you would like to move your fingers or your toes a little bit. And perhaps you feel the urge to stretch a little. Open your eyes. And with that, I wish you a beautiful day.